Hi everyone, I would like to read you guys a book today, and hopefully you like it. This is basically starting off because I have a lot of free time with being quarantined. I know some of you kiddos are like super bored and you're just ready to go see your family and play with your friends, but don't worry, hopefully it'll be over sooner rather than later. Cross fingers, I'm sure we'll be set here soon. But I definitely want to base my YouTube channel off of the monarch butterflies because of the fact that they are endangered. I have gone to quite a few schools and talked to many students about the endangered species, and some of them actually got to watch some of the butterflies come out of the chrysalis. And even one of the schools, when my daughter was, I want to say, in like maybe pre-K, I think it was in pre-K, and she got to help her class release some monarch butterflies, and they were super excited. And I know I did it for one or two classes at LeBlue Settlement Elementary. Those of you kiddos who are watching, I miss y'all, and I hope that you are enjoying your free time off. And if any of you want to plant some of the plants that we had talked about, the milkweed that helps them grow, that's the only plant that they eat. I actually have some right here next to me. I have tons of seeds. So even after all this is over, parents, if you would like some of the seeds, they're free of charge. Just let me know. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read y'all a book called Velma Gratch and the Way Cool Butterfly. It's by Alan Madison and Kevin Hobbs. It's a pretty good book. It looks like a huge book, but it's not too bad. And I'll show you all the pictures as I get through the pages. Now the first page, when you open it up, it shows like a bunch of different, shows Velma Gratch, and it shows a bunch of different different caterpillars. And I want to say, where is it? Here, right here, this green and black one, that's the monarch caterpillar. And I actually have two of them perched on my plants right here. Okay, let's get started. Velma Gratch was the youngest of the three Gratch sisters. Frida, the oldest, had gone through first grade first, followed by Fiona. Now it was Velma's turn. The chorus teacher remembered Frida best because she had a voice like an angel. The gym teacher remembered Fiona best because she ran like the devil. And the first grade teacher, Mr. Plexipus, fondly remembered both sisters because of Frida's miraculous math and Fiona's spectacular spelling. Everyone from the class, guinea pig to the principal, had magnificent memories of the older Gratch girls, but they could hardly even recall Velma's name. This made Velma feel as if she did not belong in the first grade at all. She wanted to curl into a ball and roll right back into kindergarten. Of course you belong, cooed Velma's mother, trying to cheer her up. You've only just begun. Soon everybody will notice you. Velma couldn't wait. She needed to be noticed now. She was impatient. She just wanted people to know who she was. I guess to have lots of friends and everyone to like her. In chorus, she sang loudest so that the teacher could hear her best. And boy, did she sing loud. Look at that face. In gym, she ran slowest so that the teacher could see her best. And in class, she refused to read the muddled her math. Mr. Plexipus lamented that she was the first Gratch sister ever sent to the principal's office. This brought a small smile to Velma's lips. Littlest Gratch, why are you singing so loudly in chorus and running so slowly in gym? Inquired Principal crossly. Because, answered Velma, I want you to remember me just like you remember Frida and Fiona. The principal's owlish eyes opened wide. But, my dear, those Gratches are remembered for good things. Velma's small smile pretzel twisted into a full-blown frown. You see, the principal, she did not look too happy. And Velma was kind of sad now. Here's the next page. Here's a picture of her looking into a jar with a monarch caterpillar, the milkweed leaf, and 2 chrysalises. Science was Velma's favorite subject. She had learned many fabulous facts like how a rainbow is born and why a volcano bursts. The latest lesson was about butterflies. Mr. Plexippus explained that a butterfly starts as an egg. The egg turns into a caterpillar. The caterpillar disappears into a chrysalis, which is a little sac and does not come out until it has changed into a beautiful butterfly. He called this changing metamorphosis. Velma didn't want to forget this extra long word, so she repeated it again and again as she walked home. Metamorphosis, metamorphosis, metamorphosis. Frida, when you were in 1st grade, did you study butterflies? Velma asked her oldest sister, I should say. No, we learned worms, Frida replied. Fiona, when you were in 1st grade, did you study butterflies? Velma asked her middle sister. There's Velma asking her oldest sister. No, we found out about frogs, Fiona stated. Well, said Velma proudly, we are studying butterflies and medal more for this. That's way cool, Frida declared, and Fiona bobbled her head in way cool agreement. That's her middle sister. And she mispronounced metamorphosis, but that's okay because she was learning. She was trying, right? That's all that matters. Velma read everything in the library about butterflies. She discovered that there are 20,000 different kinds, which was a lot. She adored the ones with colorful names, brown elfin, frosted flasher, sleepy orange, and the ones with funny names, comma, question mark, American snout, not to mention the ones with strange names, morpho, painted lady, and gossamer wing. But her favorite butterfly of all was the orange and black monarch, which is my favorite too. When it got cold, all the monarchs would fly south to Mexico to stay warm. Velma thought this was an amazing coincidence because last winter vacation, she and her family had also flown south to Mexico to stay warm. And here's a picture of Velma looking through a book about butterflies and caterpillars. In science, Mr. Plexippus announced that they would take a class trip to the Butterfly Conservatory, a place where real butterflies were collected and cared for. Because Velma didn't want to forget this extra long word, she repeated it again and again as she walked home. Conservatory, conservatory, conservatory. And there she is walking home, saying it over and over so she doesn't forget. Frida, did you take a class trip in 1st grade? Velma asked her older sister. Absolutely. We went to the museum, Frida replied. Fiona, did you take a class trip to 1st grade? Velma asked her middle sister. Absolutely. We went to the aquarium, Fiona stated. Well, said Velma proudly, we're going to the can serve the story. That's way cool, Frida declared, and Fiona bobbled her head in way cool agreement. Here they are, playing jump rope, talking about their field trips. The Butterfly Conservatory was surrounded by fancy flower beds and bedecked with banners of butterflies. Velma was so excited, her knobby knees wobbled, her spaghetti arms trembled, and her carroty curls shook. A sharp-nosed woman holding a clipboard introduced herself. I am your tour guide. Inside, a butterfly might land on you, but please don't touch its wings. Does anyone know why? I do. Velma's hand shot up because they're made of teeny tiny scales that could rub off like dust. And that is not good, she explained. Precisely, said the guide. What's your name? I'm Velma, the youngest of the 3 Gratch sisters. I don't think I know your sisters, the guide commented as they entered the rainforest room. Now, how do you think that she knew about the wings? I think that she read a lot of books about butterflies, and she knew how delicate they are. And here's the next page. This is so pretty. I'll show you whenever I finish reading this one. It was a magical space slathered in tall trees and tangled vines. Water gurgled over rocks and butterflies of every variety. Giant swallowtails, which I tend to see those in my backyard during the summertime. Short-tailed skippers, pygmy blues, and best of all, monarchs flew up to forever. The guide explained that when it got colder in a couple of weeks, she would take the monarchs into the park and let them go free so that they could fly to Mexico. This traveling was called migration. Because Velma didn't want to forget this extra long word, she repeated it again and again as she walked through the rainforest. Migration, migration, migration. See how she was looking at all the butterflies? See, that's a giant swallowtail. I see those in my backyard, and there's a monarch butterfly. A gorgeous green comma rested on Randy's head. The class oohed. A baby brown elfin settled on Sandy's nose. The class awed. A big blue morpho alighted on Andy's shoulder. The class gasped, but not one single butterfly landed on any part of Velma. See there, one landed on his head, one on her nose, and one on his shoulder. Time to leave, instructed Mr. Plexipus as they neared the exit. A tear formed in a distant corner of Velma's eye. She was sad. All she wanted was one single tingly touch of a butterfly. On a nearby branch sat a most lovely monarch. How she yearned to pet those velvety wings. She moved slowly. The class was leaving. One more inch. It was so pretty. She froze. If she touched its wings, it might... Velma couldn't do it. She couldn't hurt a butterfly. Come now, Velma, we have to go. Sadly, Velma turned away, and at that very moment, the most marvelous thing happened. Now, here's a picture of her getting close to a monarch butterfly, and she's looking suspicious like, should I touch it? The monarch hopped from its branch and roosted right on Velma's finger. Delicate wings slowly folding, antenna twitching, weightless and wondrous, the insect sat. Velma was in heaven, and this is probably one of my favorite animations in this book. It's awesome. The bus was waiting, her teacher called. Velma placed her finger next to the branch. Bye-bye, butterfly, she whispered, but the monarch didn't move. We're closing, said the guide. Velma lightly blew on the butterfly. It didn't budge. Without ever touching the beautiful wings, everyone tried to get the monarch to fly, crawl, or walk off Velma's finger, but nothing worked. At last, Velma was told to leave with the butterfly still perched on her pointer. So that means she got to leave the conservatory with a monarch butterfly, her favorite one, and my favorite too. It stayed there on the bus ride home, so you can see all the kids on the bus watching her hold the butterfly. It stayed there when she slept and was still there when she awoke. It stayed during gym, math, reading, ballet, soccer, day in and day out. It stayed put on that pointer. Soon, everyone from the class guinea pig to the principal knew about Velma and her butterfly. Mr. Plexippus lamented that Velma was positively the first Gratch ever sent to the principal's office twice. This stuck an oversized frown on Velma's face. She was just disappointed. She's like, oh man, I tried so hard and I'm still getting in trouble. Velma, Principal crossly commanded, it is time for the butterfly to go. Oh, I've tried to get it to go, Velma moaned, but it just won't. Well, no one will ever forget this, the principal fumed. Velma's brown pretzel twisted into a small smile. Hey, I know what to do, she proclaimed. My gray sun. And there's a picture of the principal upset, and Velma just looks so defeated. Velma paraded Principal Crossley, Mr. Plexippus, her class, Frida, and Fiona to the park. Car horns honked, people yelled, but despite all the commotion, the Monarch did not move. A cool wind from the west blew through the fields. In the middle stood the tour guide from the conservatory, carefully opening an enormous sack. A single monarch butterfly stepped out, looked around, and flitted away. It was trailed by 10, then 10 more, soaring up and up until the sky overflowed with thick clouds of orange and black. What's happening? Wondered Frida. Why are you letting them go? Demanded Fiona. Migration, answered the guide. My gray sun, repeated Velma. The wind tousled Velma's hair and tickled her butterfly's wings. The Monarch jumped onto her finger, from her finger onto her nose, as if to give her a kiss, and then took flight to join its friends. Over the treetops it flew, over the skyscrapers, and up into the wild blue, orange, and black yonder, on its way to Mexico. And here's my second favorite picture in the book. Now, if you ask your parents politely, I'm sure they would not mind looking up on the internet a picture of monarch butterflies in Mexico and some videos, because they're really cool. Velma, shouted Principal crossly, and every eye turned toward her. Oh no, fretted Velma, sure that she was about to become the only Gretch ever to be sent to the principal's office 3 times. That was way cool, the principal said, and one and all bobbled their heads in way cool agreement. Then, with her fine finger where the Monarch had sat still a tingle, Velma followed her 2 sisters floated home. Now, pretty sure, yep, that's the end. And in the back of the book, it shows all those the butterflies. You know how in the front where it showed all these caterpillars? Well, guess what? These are the butterflies that it makes. Isn't it cool? And that's a monarch butterfly. That's what they look like. They're super pretty. Once again, the book is called Velma Gratch and the Way Cool Butterfly by Madison and Kevin Hawkes. So if you want that book and you want it for your birthday or for Christmas, all you have to do is ask your parents. It's not very expensive. And they have many other monarch butterfly books that you can find online. And I hope that y'all enjoyed this story. And if y'all want to help create some beautiful monarch butterflies of your own, you can ask your parents if you can get some seeds one day and grow these plants, and that way you can feed these monarch butterflies. And I'll show you one really quick. It's not a butterfly, but it's a caterpillar, and it's probably munching away. I can't see. I can't tell if I'm looking at it. I think you can see it. Yep. See the little caterpillar? I have 2 of them over here, and I have a couple of bigger ones too. And it's very exciting. It's very fun to raise monarch caterpillars and butterflies. It's very hard work though. This year I think because of all the sickness going around and it just being crazy and hectic at home. I haven't had the time or the materials to be able to raise them in my home like I usually do. So I'm letting nature take course. They're staying outside, they're eating, they're getting fat and sassy. But anyways, if y'all have any questions about monarch butterflies, feel free to have your parents ask, or if you're a grown-up, ask me. I hope you enjoyed the story. I will be back sometime this week to read y'all another book about monarch butterflies. I hope y'all have a great afternoon.